So, guys, I don't know if you are aware of this trend that is doing the rounds on the internet that is called the black fatigue. So basically, the white Americans are out in full force to say that we are sick and tired of the behavior of black people. We are sick and tired of black people blaming us of everything wrong that is happening in this country. We are sick and tired of black people being given the platforms to be racist and to be nasty towards us. And if we dare say anything, then we are called racist. So now the white Americans are out in full force to say that this behavior is sickening and we are not going to allow it anymore. And basically, guys, I honestly don't think that it is going to end with the United States. I think this black fatigue trend is going to go worldwide to a point where white people are basically revolting to say that we are sick and tired of black people being given huge platforms to insult us. And we don't say anything about that. We cannot even push back against this rhetoric that comes from black people. It is a mess, man. It is a mess.
Black fatigue. It's all over my FYP page. Thank you. I am so happy that this is being brought up. You know, by the way, for us white people that have been around the block a long time, this isn't new to us. We've been dealing with this for over 40 years. Here's my story. This is about 2015. I'm at Put-in-Bay. Put-in-Bay's on South Bass Island in Lake Erie. There's a bunch of bars out there. It's a great place for adults to go play. Think of Pat Daly, Mad Dog Adams. If you don't know those guys, think of Jimmy Buffett. I'm sitting on a bench on Delaware waiting for my wife, who's in a shop shopping. And at the time, the traffic is two ways. And I think I witnessed why it is no longer two ways. It's a Saturday afternoon. The island is packed. The traffic is bumper to bumper. These two guys going in opposite directions decide to stop and have a chat. Not for a couple seconds, not for a couple minutes, but I think it was around 10 minutes before people started to threaten them. But around the 5-minute mark, I'm just sitting there with my arms folded, just shaking my head. And I hear this voice. This is what's holding us back. This is why we're hated. And I turned around to see who had said it, and it was a black couple about my age. And then he looked directly at me and said, 30 years ago, I'd go down there, grab those idiots by their dreadlocks and teach them a lesson their fathers never did. And I looked at him and went, 30 years ago, I'd have been right there with you. I have hated this type of behavior my entire life. I've never gotten it. How self-centered do you have to have no respect for any other human being? It's all about you. These are the people I've spent my life avoiding. But I had never thought about it from the black community side. And I gotta say, it sucks a lot more for you guys than it does for us white people because you're associated with it, right? There are a lot of whites that just put you all together. And it has slowed down the healing of this country. But seriously, 40 years ago, racism should have been over. Unfortunately, the Democratic Party has continued to fan the flames of racism to make money and to get votes. I'm so thankful that a lot of you are waking up to this. And again, I can't stress this enough. This isn't a black thing. This is a behavior thing. Some of my closer friends are black, and I love and appreciate them. And I'm very thankful that they have not allowed the crappy behavior out of some to drag them down. Well, I hope you're having a great day. I hope to see you tomorrow.
So this is a sentiment of a lot of white people on social media right now, especially the Americans. They are saying, okay, we are sick and tired, man. We are sick and tired of this behavior and we cannot stand it anymore. We cannot stand it anymore. So one of the people that actually broke this down beautifully, it was Jason Whitlock. And this is how Jason Whitlock basically broke down whatever that is happening in the United States and that potentially can spill out to the rest of the world.
Black fatigue. If you have not heard the term, if you're not on X, formerly known as Twitter, you may be unaware that this conversation is going on. But if you're on social media and if you understand the impact of X/Twitter and that like the Black Lives Matter movement started on Twitter and now there's a response movement being started on Twitter, and it's called Black fatigue. And it is the antithesis. It is the yin to the yang of Black Lives Matter. It's white people loudly, boldly expressing their fatigue with black people. This is and was inevitable. And that's why I spent so much time during the whole Black Lives Matter psyop, about a decade, saying like, this is crazy. Black Lives Matters is going to create a boomerang effect. It's going to harden hearts. You're not going to host a decade-long discussion on social media and in mainstream media about how awful white people are and what victims we are. And oh my God, once every 3 or 4 months, there's a controversial police-involved shooting with a resisting career criminal. That was inevitably going to spark a backlash. And now the backlash is here, and it's called black fatigue. Punch that into Twitter and see what comes up. There are social media accounts dedicated to showing videos of black people behaving dysfunctionally, violently, inappropriately, not just in Spirit Airlines, Frontier Airlines, not just on Carnival cruises, but damn it, if you let them on Royal Caribbean, the same thing will happen there. You let them inside of Wendy's, the same thing will happen there. There's an endless parade of these videos, and they're all about black fatigue. Like, I'm tired of black folks. Black folks have raised their hand and volunteered to be the enemies of white people, and to be the people that we want to cast white people as the worst thing on the planet. And eventually, people's patience has worn out and was going to wear out. It was inevitable.
So guys, of course, there's been a pushback on social media from the accounts of many black people saying that, okay, this is now white people basically say wanting to be racist out in the open, and this is the reason, and they are using this black fatigue thing as an excuse for them to be racist towards us. And it is unacceptable for these racists to try to hold us accountable. But one thing that I've actually realized with this trend on social media is that even black people, a lot of black people have actually came out, like I said earlier on, a lot of black people have actually came out to say that we are sick and tired of this behavior too. It is not only white people, it is not only the Hispanics, it is not only the... We are also sick and tired of this behavior that actually puts black people into a negative light.
Black fatigue. This video might make you uncomfortable, but it needs to be made. There's a growing sentiment, most recently, of individuals who are proclaiming they do have black fatigue. And you don't have to be a non-black person to have black fatigue. What does that phrase actually mean? Essentially, black fatigue is a growing weariness of the actions of the quote unquote black community. But it goes deeper than that, because we are in 2025 now, and we are being judged based on the content of our character and not the color of our skin. But the interesting part is, the lie that's been sold to the black community in particular is that the color of our skin dictates the content of our character. That's why in the black community, sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, you are acting white, when they're talking to someone like myself who doesn't act the way most people would expect a conventional black person to act. In their minds, there is a correct way to act black. And the people in your ethnic group who fulfill those very negative stereotypes, those are the ones who are going to essentially drag down the collective whole. And that's why there's individuals who are black who do and can have black fatigue, because they see how damaging it is to see the worst of us attract all this negative attention that then unfortunately gets ascribed to the entire race all too often. But what's unfortunate is here in 2025, now we have to contend with the fact that there's people who are so sick and tired of seeing those negative aspects, those negative individuals in the black community attracting all this attention. That's what is spurring this black fatigue. I think it's something that needs to be talked about. And until we turn inward and address the issues in our own communities, I fear that this is only going to continue and get worse. And that's exactly what the powers that be want. They want to have us against each other instead of us against those who are really pulling the strings in the background.
And I think this guy is basically making a great point by saying that, if you do not act the way that conventional black people act, or if you don't align yourself with things that they align themselves with, they see you as not a pure black. You are not a pure black. And the reason why is because we are living in a time where black people have actually shut out the idea of having uncomfortable conversations. And we think that if you do not agree with us, then there has to be something wrong with you. And we even see this thing, even in South Africa, you can see the political landscape in this country that if you don't agree with the MK party, the EFF, then you are not a black person, man. You have to be a sellout. You have to be a Uncle Tom. But I love the term Uncle Tom because my name is Thomas. You have to be an Uncle Tom if you do not align with us. And you cannot question anything that the leaders of these political parties say. It doesn't matter how ridiculous that thing is. You cannot go out and question this thing. And the black people, they like to move as a group. They like to move as a group. And I believe that there are a lot of black people in this country that do not associate themselves with some of these political ideologies, but they are afraid of actually coming out to say that. But I think this is wrong. I think voting for someone simply because this person is black, it is wrong. How about we sit down and actually have a conversation about the policies? How about we sit down and scrutinize your policies? But no, if you dare try to do that, then you will have even the supporters of these political parties, the same people that are down with you on the ground, that are suffering with you, these people will be ready to lynch you simply because you are asking the questions. So if you do not align yourself with the group, if you are not part of the group think, they see something wrong with you. There has to be something wrong with you. And I think this is the reason why black people, especially even here at home, it is going to take a long time before they actually realize what is really happening in the country, because most of them, they are not even open to the idea of having uncomfortable conversations. They are not open to the idea of debates. They are not open to the idea of questioning their favorite politicians. Everything that their politicians say, they align themselves with that. It doesn't matter that if this politician comes out and say that the sky is red, if a politician comes out and says that the sky is red, you will have thousands and thousands of people saying that the sky is red. And if you dare say the sky is blue, if you dare say that the sky is blue, may God be with you. And I think this is one of the reasons why I think for me, it is so hard to run this platform. Some people think that it is easy to run the 360 experience. It is not easy to run the 360 experience because I am here. I talk about things that normally you would not find black people to speak about. And it is hard. It is hard. I mean, like, can you just imagine how easy it would be for me if I were to sit here and say that I align myself with ANC, EFF, and Umkhonto weSizwe Party, blacks, United Africa, white people are racist, we are all together. Like, that would be the easiest content ever. But for me to actually come here and to say that, guys, just look at what the black government has done to us. Just look at what these people are doing. Just look at what these people are planning to do. That is harder than actually getting on this platform and to actually speak about how bad white people are. The same white people that are not even making the decisions that are impacting our lives. We have the black politicians, we have the black political parties that have been governing this country for the past 30 years. And these people have actually made the decisions that have destroyed the lives of the people of this country. Majority of those people happen to be poor black people. But no, we cannot talk about that, man. We cannot talk about that. Let's talk about white people. Let's talk about white people. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, it is so hard to run the 360 experience. It is hard to run the 360 experience. So, like I said, there are tons of videos in the United States where people are coming out to say that, man, we are sick and tired of this behavior because this behavior of you guys is actually putting us in a bad light. It's putting us in a bad light.
Black fatigue is a thing. Newsflash. White people don't want to live around ratchet black people, and black people don't want to live around ratchet black people. I mean, it's nothing like going to the Walmart on a Sunday morning, and then you see the bonnet crew walk in. Loud, obnoxious, the kids are everywhere, in every aisle, unattended, and that's anywhere you go. No matter what. They're highly emotional, highly sensitive. You can't say nothing. You can't even smile and hold the door for them because they'll look at you like you're crazy. And always the victim of something. Either you stepped on a shoe, you looked at them wrong, you told them good morning. They're never happy, they're never satisfied. And you wonder why normal, good black people move out of the hood as soon as they start getting successful. I was one of those black people that said, man, if I made some money, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to buy.
And this guy is telling the truth, because this is not only happening in the United States, even in the townships. This is what happens, man. This is what happens. As soon as people find success, they leave the townships. And you will ask yourself why. Just ask yourself why. Because even these politicians that are pretending to be pro-African, they do not live with the black people. They don't live with black people. They live in the suburbs that are predominantly white. Why do they do that? Why do they do that? And this is something that you will never hear the followers of these political parties say. You will never hear the followers of these political parties say that, you know, Julius, if you love black people so much, why don't you build a house in Soweto and live with the people of Soweto and get to understand what the people of Soweto are going through? Why don't you build a mansion in Seshego, in Limpopo, and live with those people and experience what these people are experiencing and lead these people from here on the ground? No, he will never do that. He will never do that. It is convenient for him to go out in stadiums to say that we are together. Yes, it's all of us. We are together in this. And after that, get into that 2 million rand bus and actually go to the suburbs. It works out well for them. So this does not only happen in the United States, it also happens here in the townships. We know of a lot of people that have actually left the townships because they got their money. Once you get your money, man, the first thing that comes to your mind, maybe I need to get a house outside of these neighborhoods, because here there's not even accountability. There's no accountability here. We live with the taverns. At every corner there is a tavern. And these taverns are making noise. They don't care that people are going to work. They don't care that children have to study. But there's noise everywhere. And you can't say anything. Because if you dare say anything, most of these people that go to the taverns, they will see you as a hater. That, no, this guy is a hater. How can you even try to get these taverns banned? So people will say that, no, I don't want my children to grow up in an environment where you would see the drunkards in the streets with the bottles of beer. You would see young people smoking in the streets. I don't want my children growing up exposed to that. So as soon as they are successful, they are out of there. They are out of there.
As soon as they start getting successful. I was one of those black people that said, man, if I made some money, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to buy up this, buy up that. I'm going to support the community. As soon as I got my money, I got the fuck up out of there because they don't know how to appreciate good shit. And my suburban kids don't need to be dealing with that bullshit. Crab in a barrel mentality. Never take accountability for nothing. So yeah, black fatigue is a thing. And I'll tell you, a lot of people are fucking tired. They're tired of dealing with these kind of people on a daily basis. I mean, I get anxiety when I walk inside of a mall nowadays. I mean, because you got these YNs running around and they don't respect nothing. So I don't care what anybody says. White America is tired of you, and we are too.
So I wonder how long is it going to take before this trend actually is spread throughout the world. I wonder how is it going to take. Because I think South Africa, man, we are next. I think in this country we are next. Because even if you listen to the ANC, when these people speak, man, they like everything that is wrong in this country, it is the fault of the white people. It is the fault of apartheid. They are not taking accountability for anything. Taking accountability for nothing. I think we are next. I honestly think that we are next. I think after the white Americans, I think the people that are fed up, I think the white Britons are also fed up. They're going to go out in social media and speak about how their country is literally being taken over by the Islamists. And after that, I think it will have to come to South Africa. It will have to come to South Africa. I swear.
It is not because you are black. I repeat, it is not because you are black. It is because you lack morals, self-respect, and character. You are loud, you are obnoxious, disrespectful, with very little regard for anyone else. You don't just tolerate dysfunction, you defend it, you protect the degenerates, and then you try to silence anyone who is calling for accountability. You let the worst of the community become the face of the community, and then you get upset when the world treats you like we are all degenerates. And then you want people to care about Black lives when Black people kill more Black people than anyone. We are first in line to get an abortion, and the children that are actually in the community, they can't even fucking read. And then instead of holding accountability for the things that are actually going on in our community, we scapegoat white people that have nothing to do with what is going on within the Black community. So if it is because you're Black, thank other Black people.
So I was just told that I turned my back on the Black community because of a recent video I did about Jasmine Crockett. I've been waiting on this one. What this is called is selective morality. Let's ignore the fact that ain't no white robes running through our neighborhoods, just Black folks terrorizing other Black folks. Let's ignore the fact that ain't no white supremacists shooting up our blocks. It's us. Let's ignore the fact that we make music glorifying our own destruction and then cry when the streets match the lyrics. We love screaming Black unity, but will rob, jump, scam, and kill our own people with no hesitation whatsoever. Preaching we gotta stick together, while setting up your own brothers and snaking your own sisters. Love blaming the society for why our neighborhoods look like war zones, while cheering for the very culture that keeps them that way. Talking about Black pride while
I mean, like, guys, isn't this honesty at its best? Isn't this honesty at its best? That we complain about the wrong things that are happening in our own communities, but at the same time, we keep enabling the behavior of the people that are responsible for what is happening in our communities. That's why I say it doesn't make any sense for us to complain about the sewages, to complain about the illegal dumpings, to complain about crime, to complain about drugs, and at the same time continue to vote for the people that are ensuring that these things actually continues to happen in our own townships. How about we actually look at the people that actually cares for us? How about we start to look at the people that actually cares about what is happening in our communities? Because this has been happening for years, man. It has been happening for years. Guys, you remember when I said that one of the reasons why I do not have hope and trust in South African voters is because South African voters have proven to be, I don't want to say pathetic, but South African voters, they will go out and vote for the ANC. And after voting for the ANC, in 2 weeks, the same people, they will be in the streets complaining that there are no jobs, complaining that there are sewages, complaining that the infrastructure is crumbling, complaining about crime, complaining about drugs. And you would think that, okay, maybe these people have actually made a mistake. The new election cycle will come. And you would think, okay, guys, you remember all the things that you had to deal with under the administration of these people. Now is the chance to get rid of these people. But what will South Africans do? They will continue to vote for a political party that landed them into a mess in the first place. And this is the reason why I say that I don't know what's wrong with South Africans, man. Like deep down in my heart, I don't know what's wrong with South Africans. I don't know. Because clearly they do not want any change. They pretend like they want change. They pretend like they are sick and tired of what is happening in the country. They pretend like they are concerned about their children not being unemployed, not being employed. They pretend like they care about the drugs that are destroying their communities. These criminals that are slaughtering hundreds of people every day in the streets. They pretend like they care about those things. But the truth of the matter is that they don't care. They don't care, because if they truly cared, they would actually make better decisions. But the fact that they continue to make these decisions, it is evident enough to show that they don't care. They don't care. They are okay with the status quo. Absolutely okay.
for why our neighborhoods look like war zones, while cheering for the very culture that keeps them that way. Talking about Black pride while rapping about murdering each other, turning women into baby mamas, and making it seem like being broke, violent, and ignorant is a personality trait. Everybody want to scream support Black businesses, but will run to Gucci before you ever spend $1 with your own people while looking for a hookup at the same time. We want to whine about gentrification, but won't invest in your own damn community. Instead, trash it, and then cries when somebody else moves in and builds it the fuck up. And then the worst part, y'all expect every Black person to fall in line with this bullshit ideology. Because how dare a black person think for themselves, right? How dare someone not subscribe to this self-inflicted victimhood bullshit? Y'all want unity? Start by looking in the fucking mirror. The truth is, black folks ain't even for black folks. The biggest threat to black people ain't Trump. It ain't the police. It ain't white people. It's us. It's our own self-hatred, our own refusal to hold each other accountable, and our own addiction to playing the goddamn victim while glorifying the very shit that holds us back. Who's out here shooting up black neighborhoods? Not Trump. Who's rapping about killing each other, robbing each other, and treating our women like trash? Not Trump. Who's making our own communities unlivable, unsafe, and uninvestable, then crying about it and wondering why they won't build up our neighborhoods? Not Trump. Who raised us to fear and hate each other more than any racist system ever could? We did that to ourselves. But nah, let's keep blaming everything on racism, while we kill, rob, and destroy our own at a rate the Klan could only dream of. Let's keep pretending every black person is on the same team when half of y'all wouldn't even piss on another black person if they were on fire. Y'all would film it and yell World Star. Let's keep screaming about oppression while cheering on the destruction of our own communities. Y'all don't want justice. Y'all don't want unity. Y'all don't want progress. You just want an excuse to stay in the same damn cycle while blaming everyone else but yourselves. So nah, I'm not turning my back.
So if you follow this trend, you would actually realize that it seems like a lot of reasonable black people that actually have sense, they've actually been waiting for something like this so that they can express their dissatisfaction. Because this started with videos from white people saying that we are sick and tired, but right now it has actually been taken over by black people saying that, guys, we are also sick and tired. Do not say that these people are racist simply because they are expressing how they feel. Truth of the matter is that we have problem too. As black people, we have problems too. And we have a problem with you. We have a problem with you. So it is quite a fascinating trend to see. And guys, I will be checking it out. I will be checking it out. Please, if you haven't seen this trend, please go on social media and type black fatigue. And guys, please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button. And the most important part is subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabao, so I will see you next time. Bye-bye.